All right, guys. So Stephen A has been receiving some backlash this past week regarding his comments saying that he doesn't believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. And, you know, this is just a long list of crazy takes that Stephen A has been saying, right? But in my opinion, right? Honestly, like, I don't think it matters. I don't think it should matter your background or where you're from to be considered the face of the NBA. Yeah, the NBA is an American-born sport, but I mean, the top five players in the NBA, I can argue the top five players in the NBA are all overseas players. You have Giannis, you have Jokic, of course, he's number one, obviously. You have Shea, you have Luka. You have all these players that are just playing high-level basketball, and I just don't see why Stephen A doesn't think an international player can be the face of the NBA, especially because they're global. It's worldwide, and I feel like having an international player as the face of the NBA can really promote the NBA internationally, even though it already is international. But I think it can bring it to the next level. But all in all, I don't think that just because you're an American player, that means you have to be the face of the NBA. Let's be honest here. I don't know what it is with people and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, I think, can be a very good face of the NBA, of course, but I don't know what it is. People just don't like Tatum, man. Despite him, averaging, leading the Celtics in this past finals in all major statistical categories. Don't get me wrong, Jaylen Brown is no slouch as well. He gives them tremendous defense, but I don't see why people aren't speaking about Jason Tatum being the face of the NBA, but people just don't want him to be the face of the NBA. He just has a lot of haters, and I still respect Jason Tatum. I think he's an amazing player. Obviously, he's clearly top 10 in the league. A lot of people will probably call me crazy for saying that, but no, he's definitely top 10 in this league. But again, Stephen A doesn't think international players can be the face of the NBA. So let's see what he has to say.
And that brother was giving it. My personal opinion is I don't believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. I know they're global iconic figures. Their popularity extends globally. But the NBA is an American-born sport. And it needs to resonate in America. And if it doesn't resonate in America, then it's not going to matter to America how you resonate beyond. And so that's just my mentality, UD. That's how I think about it. Not to say they can't be popular or what have you, but I just think about it that way. Shannon, as to your point that you made yesterday, UD wasn't here when you made it. I understand your point, and you're absolutely right. You can't want something more for somebody else than they want for themselves. And I totally get that. But that doesn't mean I'm not entitled to my wish list. And my wish is that Anthony Edwards changes his mind.
I mean, you could be entitled to your wish list, Stephen A, but it doesn't mean that it's not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy.
Changes his mind. And the reason why is because, I mean, my favorite.
And just to give context for people who don't know about Anthony Edwards, there was an interview recently, and I'm not gonna pull it up, I'm not gonna do all that, but there was an interview recently about, I think a reporter was asking Anthony Edwards, would he want to be the face of the league or something like that? And he was like, no, that's what we got Wemby for. And again, man, most of these American players, I don't know, man. The reason I don't see Anthony Edwards being the face, I mean, he could have been the face, but it's just too many off-court stuff. And I'm not trying to call Anthony Edwards out here, man. Live your life, do whatever you got to do. But doesn't he have like 5 baby mamas? Like, you can't be the face of it. And like, look at LeBron James for example. Literally 0 blemishes as far as scandals. There's been no scandals in LeBron's career at all. He's been squeaky clean as far as being on the court and off the court. That's what made him the perfect face of the NBA. And obviously he's American. He's born in America, but still, there has to be some sort of like, optics when it comes to like how you carry yourself on and off the court. And I don't think Anthony Edwards has that yet. He's still young. I feel like he needs a couple more years. Or I don't even know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't think Anthony Edwards is the answer.
Curry. And where I fell in love with Anthony Edwards wasn't with the dunks or whatever. It was when the playoffs showed up last year and that brother was giving it to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, that to me was the nail in the coffin, UD, because he was talking major smack to his idol, Kevin Durant. And he was going after, and remember, I'm somebody that feels very, very highly about Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is an absolute stud. I watched that brother get on the court against them brothers and just shrink them. I mean, let them know there was levels to it, and I don't know who told y'all were on it, but y'all ain't, and went at them. My personal opinion is I don't believe in international.
All right, so I guess I don't. Okay, what about Luka Doncic? Remember when Luka was in the bubble and what he did to the Clippers by himself? He was against PG. He was against Kawhi Leonard. That was a great team. The Clippers were supposed to win the chip that year, and Luka dispatched him. I think it was in 5 or 6 games. And he was talking smack the whole time. To Leonard, to Paul George, all of them. What about that, Stephen A? Did you forget that? I mean, I don't understand why Stephen A. I don't know what Stephen A. has against international players, but when the league's top 5 players are all international, I mean, it's a different league, man. It's not how it used to be 10 or even 15 years ago, where Americans were dominating the sport. In 2025. The Euros are dominating the sport, and I think Stephen A. is completely wrong here. So let's check out what you guys had to say. Ant-Man got like 8 kids. It's not going to be him. Adam Silver is going to have a nice chat with Stephen A. Smith. You got this one user who agreed with him. Somebody said American-born sport was invented by a Canadian. Somebody else commented, imagine being this dumb. And somebody went as far as say is Stephen A. is being racist. Right? So obviously, the overwhelming majority does not agree with Stephen A.'s take, and I don't either, for a bevy of reasons, right? But Carmelo Anthony, who's one of the league's best players of all time offensively, right? He also chimed in on the conversation. So let's see what he had to say.
Because Wemby can't beat it with him. Because Wemby can't be the face of the NBA.
Oh, he's not from
because
America.
This is our sport, nigga. Yeah. This is our shit. He can't be the face.
Yeah.
Luka can't be the face. Giannis can't be the face. Shea can't be the face.
Well, Giannis
Ant gotta be Ant, nigga.
Let's go viral right there,
nigga. Jason Tatum, like we got, you know what I'm saying? Like these.
You see, mine is Jason Tatum. Let's talk about the 2 players, Ja and Anthony Edwards. We already spoke about Anthony Edwards, so we'll leave that alone. Ja, I don't know, man. Ja's an amazing player. Amazing athletic ability. Great on-court IQ. He's a floor general. But it seems like Ja wants to be more of like a rapper or like some type of like, somebody he's not. And granted, he's been correcting his wrongs. He's been better, this year. But I feel like the mistakes Ja has made in the past with the whole gun on Instagram Live and all this other stuff, hitting a teenager or whatever. And granted, I think that was dealt with. But I feel like Ja's made so many mistakes to even be considered the face of the NBA, right? And I don't know, man. Like when Melo says these names, it just doesn't support his argument too much. Because look at the Euros, man. Look at Jokic, man. Jokic is. I think Jokic is gonna win the MVP. I think he's the front runner for MVP. I want Shea to win. I think he deserves it, but Jokic's numbers are just out of this world, man. He's a center averaging a triple-double. This is crazy. And granted, I know Jokic isn't, as charismatic. He puts off this persona like he doesn't care about basketball. It comes so naturally to him. All he wants to do is go back to Serbia and just, ride his horses. That's the, sentiment, the conversation surrounding him. But you can't not have a love for the game of basketball while averaging a triple-double. Like, this man Jokic is balling, man. You have Shea, you have Luka, man. Even though Luka has been, a little, inconsistent because, the whole new situation in LA. But I don't know, man. Let's finish this clip.
These are the faces. Right. Zion was supposed to be a face of this.
Another name. I'm sorry for pausing this. Zion. Zion was the second. They were calling Zion the second coming of LeBron James. And now look at him. He just seems to not, be as focused. And don't get me wrong. Whenever Zion's on the court, he's giving guys 40. He's athletic. He's big. He's strong. But, the other things such as nutrition, conditioning, staying in shape for the season, it just doesn't seem as important for Zion. And I think those things matter. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Kobe Bryants of the world, man. Even though he was an American-born player, the man was committed, man. He was obsessed with just being the best that he could be. And when I hear Ja Morant, when I hear Ant-Man, when I hear Zion, I just don't think these guys are as as serious. I'm not saying that they aren't great players. These are great players, and they are the future of the NBA for sure. But Wemby, man, that's the face of the NBA in my league. Wemby, Jokic, Giannis, man, like these guys are dominating the sport, man. I'm sorry, I can't agree with Stephen A, man.
It's
You're
NBA.
gonna get a lot of people that beg that is gonna disagree with you.
Yeah, man.
You can't be the face
But
of an
you-
NBA, a league that we started.
I think you right. Now, I'm not sure.
I think you right.
But I think you
I'm not
right.
sure yet. With him.
Nah, man. No, but this is crazy. But no, man. Somebody commented, bro, named Giannis, Wemby, Luka, SJ, and Jokic just said we got Ant and Tatum. I'm crying. Nah, look, man, look. Tatum is him, bro. He's him, bro. He's a champion. He's looking to repeat again this year. I don't know why people hate Tatum so much. This is crazy. This guy is discriminating, and I think he has a point. Total ignorance. I love Melo, but this is BS. Who's the current face of the NBA? Tatum, Zion? Absolutely not. You can have the case for Ant and Ja, though. But in all seriousness, it's the European players that have dominated the league as of late. This doesn't make any sense. And I agree with AMV 100% here. Didn't a Canadian invent basketball? I'm sick of seeing this comment. Just because a Canadian invented basketball doesn't mean it's not an American sport. The sport is played in America. I'm sorry. It's America. Anyways. And you see, another thing about this comment. This is an ignorant comment. This is why Melo never won anything in the NBA. What the fuck does that have to do with the conversation at hand? Like you NBA Twitter weirdos, bro. Like just come with the argument and stop bringing in other points to like stop bringing in insults to like these other points to insult players. It makes no sense to me. It's this kind of self-righteous arrogance that got the U.S. in this situation. Here we go. No. The overwhelming majority of people do not agree with this whole sentiment that the face of the NBA has to only be an American player. Obviously, people are entitled to your opinions, but Stephen A, man, you're wrong here, brother. You're wrong.